And now it's time for Old Town Theater Company's Radio Theater, starring Deontay Darko, Maury Bendon, TJ Schwartz, and Jessica Edwards, along with Zaid Patterson, and me, David Hensley, in It's a Wonderful Life. But first, a word from our sponsor, WRHI.
Hey, this is Lucas McFadden.
And I'm Patty Mercer.
This is Palmetto Mornings on WRHI FM 100.1, your home for news, talk, and sports.
Christmasville may be virtual this year, but you know what? We can still have fun celebrating the holidays.
So on behalf of everyone here at OTS Media, Merry Christmas.
And have a happy and healthy New Year.
And now, Old Town Theater Company presents It's a Wonderful Life. This is the story of George Bailey, an ordinary man who lives in Bedford Falls, New York. But George Bailey, more than anything, wanted to see the world, the exciting world that lay somewhere beyond his hometown. However, our story doesn't begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in this world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels is briefing an apprentice angel named Clarence.
Clarence Oddbody, Angel Second Class, reporting for duty, Your Honor. Are you really sending me down to Earth?
Yes. You see, there's a man in trouble down there. At precisely 10:45 p.m. Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking about ending his life.
Oh, man. And you want me to stop him? Well, then maybe I can finally earn my wings. I've only been waiting 200 years.
Listen, Clarence, you must stop him if you can. Now, let me brief you about George Bailey's case history. You see, when George was a boy, his little brother fell through the ice.
And George jumped in to save him.
Yes, but as a result, George has a bad ear.
Well, sure, the icy water, infection.
A few months later, young George was working after school at Gower's drugstore. But on this day, Mr. Gower's only son died of influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower was trying to drown his sorrow in whiskey when...
George, did you deliver that prescription?
Well, no, Mr. Gower,
Why didn't you deliver that right away? The little Blaine girl is sick. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower. Here it is.
Here? Why, you...
Ow! Mr. Gower, my ear!
You good-for-nothing, lazy loafer!
Ow! You're hurting my sore ear. No, Mr. Gower. You put something bad in these capsules. It's poison.
Poison? Poison? Oh, my God!
Don't hurt my sore ear again, please.
Oh, George.
That's why I didn't deliver it. I won't ever tell a soul, Mr. Gower. I won't tell anyone. Hope to die.
Well, George grew up and he wanted to go to college. But there just wasn't enough money, so he worked for 4 years at the Bailey Building and Loan Association.
Building and loan?
Yes, George's father and Uncle Billy were in the building and loan business. George worked for his father and saved enough to pay for college. But first, he was going to summer in Europe, working his way across on a cattle boat.
Gee, it's hard to believe. This is my last night at the old Bailey boarding house.
We'll all miss you, George.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Ma. You too, Pop. But hey, what's the matter? You look kind of tired.
I had another run-in with Henry Potter today.
That old money-grubbing buzzard. I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up a little.
Potter owns just about everything he wants in town. Everything except the Bailey Building and Loan. Maybe that's why he hates us.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for tonight's dance?
Sure. Help yourself, Harry.
Right here? In your suitcase? Was this suitcase a going-away present?
Yup, far away. You see, one of these days, that bag will be plastered with travel stickers. You know, Rome, Baghdad, Samarkand.
Well, I guess you're going to have a pretty full summer, George.
Oh, I'm going to have a pretty full life.
So why don't you come to the dance tonight?
No, I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but what a wonderful death. Well, I gotta run.
Was I like that when I graduated from high school?
Oh, pretty much. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, but Harry can take over my job at the building and loan, work for 4 years like I did, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job. Maybe you were just born old, George. Come to think of it, when you get out of college, you wouldn't come back to the building and loan, would you?
Oh, no. Now, Pop, I just couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office with all those.
I see.
I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that, but it's just that staying here, I just go crazy. You see, I want to do something big, something important.
But in a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people buy their own homes.
I know, Pop, but I feel if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
I guess you're right. Get that education, then do what you want, son.
You know, Pop, ready for a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thanks, George. Look, why don't you go on over to Harry's dance? You'll have fun.
I guess I could drop in. See you later, Pop.
So, George went to a dance?
And at that dance, he fell in the pool with Mary Hatch. Later, he was walking her home, and they were feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? Hot dog, hey, Mary.
We sound beautiful, George.
Hey, you know something, Mary? I don't want to say you were the prettiest girl in town. You look wonderful.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Hey, look where we are.
Ah, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, George. Even though it's deserted, I love this old place. I want to live there someday.
In there? I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch. How about that, huh? Pretty good shot, eh? Broke that window.
What'd you wish for, George?
Wish? I don't know. Not just one wish, Mary. A whole hat full of them. You see, I'm leaving this crummy little town. I want to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon. And that's just this summer. And then I'm going to come back and go to college and see what they know, of course.
Of course.
And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields and bridges a mile long. And, come on, Mary. What is it you want? Do you want the moon? All you got to do is just say the word, and I'll...
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Then you swallow it, and it dissolves, and moonbeams shoot out your fingers, and then, do you think I'm talking too much?
Yes, why don't you kiss her?
How's that? Say what?
Oh, youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Well, hey, just a minute. Hey, you, come on back here. I'll show you some kissing that'll...
George!
Uncle Billy, look, I'm gonna kiss Mary. Watch.
George, get in the car. Quick, it's your father. He's had a stroke.
What? What? My father?
Come on, George. Get in. Hurry.
Well, George's father died that night, Clarence. And that fall, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
Okay, what are we going to do now?
Probably go ahead and go with the...
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Oh, Mr. Potter.
Now that Peter Bailey is dead, I move that we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to a receiver. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. Ideals without common sense can ruin this town. And what's that get us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. Now, who'll second my motion to dissolve?
Hold on, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I meant no disrespect, George, but your father...
Now, wait a minute. Why my father ever started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter. That rabble you're talking about, where they do most of the working and paying, and living and dying in this community.
So?
Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms with a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, Mr. Potter, my father died a richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building and loan.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy hands on. Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without crawling to Mr. Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
So, what happened, George?
Oh, you won't believe it. Boy, oh boy. You should have heard George.
Oh, yeah. Right now, they're voting us out of business.
Well, who cares? Will you get out of here, George? You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college, too?
George, they just voted Potter down.
Oh, whoopee. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? I'm leaving for college right now. No, Uncle Billy's your man.
George, you gotta take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so. Without you, we will be...
So George didn't make it to college, boss?
No, he didn't, Clarence. George gave his college money to his brother Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what about that girl, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and again, but Mary also went away to college. And George worked 4 more years at the building and loan, waiting for Harry to finish school, come back, and take over. George still hoped to see the world, though, except when Harry came back, he brought a girl with him, a wife.
So, George, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? She's swell. Harry's got all the luck.
She'll keep him on his toes.
Well, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
Oh, now. Ruth's father has a good job for Harry up in Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo, and that means...
Oh, you can't... Oh, I'm so sorry, George.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that Mary Hatch is back from college, too? Nice girl, that Mary.
I suppose.
Oh, stop this moping, George Bailey. It is not like you.
What do you want me to do, Mother?
Give me one reason why you shouldn't go see Mary.
How about Sam Wainwright, for one? Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him. Besides, Sam Wainwright is in New York.
Okay, Mother. Trying to get rid of me, eh? Well, I think I'll go find a girl and do some passionate necking.
Oh, George, you go see Mary. Do you hear me?
What? Me? I was just passing by.
Your mother phoned saying you were coming over.
My mother phoned? Well, I just happened to be passing by, that's all.
Are you coming in or aren't you?
Well, all right. If you insist, I'll come in for a minute.
So, it's nice about Harry and his new wife, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth. It's okay.
What's the matter? You don't like her?
Well, of course I do. Ruth's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general that you're down on, huh?
No, marriage is all right for some people. I mean, it's fine for Harry, fine for Sam Wainwright and you.
For Sam?
Mary, who's down there?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. Not a thing.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
He is? You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright said he'd call tonight from New York.
I guess so, Mother. So, George, how about a little music here?
Sure. Oh, that. Now, I didn't come over here just to...
Well, what did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be the girl with all the answers. How about you tell me why?
Oh, why don't you go home?
Okay, I will go home.
Mary, the telephone.
I don't know why I even came here.
Mary.
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, maybe it's Sam. Answer it.
All right. I'll get it, Mother. Oh, George, on your way out, could you turn off the phonograph?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Stupid song.
Hello? Hatch Residence. Sam?
Hey, Mary. Good to hear your voice.
Excuse me, Mary. Seems I forgot my hat.
Oh, Sam. How nice of you to call. You know, Sam, an old friend of yours is here. George Bailey.
What? Old Mossback George in person?
Yep, old Mossback George.
Well, hee-haw. Well, put old George on. I want to say hi.
Wait a minute, Sam. George!
Mary, you idiot. Sam doesn't want to talk to George.
He does too. He even asked for George.
What is it, Mary? You see, I'm in a hurry. I've got to get to...
It's Sam Wainwright. He wants to talk to you.
Sam Wainwright? Oh, hi, Sam.
Some pal you are. What are you trying to steal my girl?
Steal your girl? Hey, nobody's trying to steal any girl. Mary, here's Sam again.
No, wait a minute, George. Wait. I want to speak to the both of you. Put Mary on the extension upstairs.
He wants you to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
George, just put your head a little closer. We can both hear. Sam, we're both on the line.
Good. Now, I have a plan that's going to make us all rich. George, remember that one time in Martini's Tavern you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Oh, yeah, soybeans. Okay.
Well, my father's going to open up a factory. We might even have a job for you. That is, if you're not still married to that broken down old building and loan.
We'll have to see, Sam.
Oh. Mary, tell George this is the chance of a lifetime. You hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone.
George!
Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, any job, and I don't want to get married, ever, to anyone. Do you understand me?
Oh, George.
I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me into any...
George.
Mary, Mary,
I know.
I love you.
I love you too.
And so, Clarence, George and Mary were married that October, and the two headed off for their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
So, where are you two heading on this deluxe honeymoon?
We're shooting the works, Ernie. It'll be the highest hotel, richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
You're finally getting out of Bedford Falls. Then what?
Gee, I don't know. Then what, dear?
The moon, who cares?
Hey, George, there's something going on at the bank. A run, looks like.
What? What? Pull over, Ernie.
Oh, George, no, let's not stop, please. Ernie, just go straight to the train station. George, don't.
Wait a minute, honey. I gotta see what this is. I'll be back in a second.
No, George, please. George, don't go.
Goodness, boss. I've heard enough background. If George Bailey's contemplating suicide, I'd better head down to Earth right away.
Hold it, Clarence. We're not anywhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life. Now, where were we?
George and Mary were heading out of town on their honeymoon when they ran into a bank run.
Yes. It was the financial panic of 1932. You see, bank troubles were very prevalent back then.
Wow. Okay, what's going on, boss?
In the lobby of the building and loan, dozens of worried shareholders were clamoring for their savings. Meanwhile, George found Uncle Billy in his office.
Oh, it's a bank panic, George. The bank had a run. They needed cash. So they demanded we pay off our loan immediately. I handed over all our cash. I had to.
You handed over all our cash? But that means...
The whole town's gone nuts, George. And now we're in the same pickle as the bank.
But our charter requires we stay open until 6 p.m. If we don't, the state can take our license away.
Well, stay open until 6 without any money?
Come on, let's see the crowd out there. Okay. Hold on now, please. Now, please, everybody, don't panic.
We want our money, George. Where's our money?
Yeah, where is
Come on, everybody. Just a minute now. Listen. You've got it all wrong. Your money isn't here.
What do you mean?
Just a minute. Let me explain. Your money's not here. It's not in the safe. No. The money you've invested in this building and loan was put into people's houses. It's in Ernie's house and your house and 100 other houses. Do you want me to foreclose on them? Throw them out of their homes?
I got $242 in shares here. Close my account. I want my money now.
Okay, Charlie. Okay. Sign this form and you'll get your money in 60 days.
What? 60 days?
What do you mean? We did that.
Ha! I got my money.
Where did you get it?
Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on the dollar for your shares.
Oh, really? Well, come on, everybody. Let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, come on, please, folks. Don't do this. Stop! Listen, if Potter gets a hold of the building and loan, there won't be a decent house built in this town again. Can't you see? He's just taken over the bank. And now he wants you to keep living in his shacks and paying the rent he decides.
Well, that's a lot of fine talk, George, but I've got doctor bills to pay.
My husband got laid off, and we can't feed our kids on faith.
That's right.
George, darling.
Hey, Mary.
How much do they need? We still got some money. The honeymoon money.
Yeah, wait, folks. I've got $2,000 here.
Well, that's
Really?
That's better.
Okay, so we've got some cash. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
I want my $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlie here $242.
Okay, well, I think it's my turn. Very patient.
Okay, all right. Mrs. Davis now.
It's $17 then.
Thank you. Okay. Who's next now? Let's try to spread it out. Miss Davis. Okay.
Oh, look at the clock, George. Look at it.
I'm looking, Uncle Billy. I'm looking. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3,
and then
2,
and then
1.
Oh, 6 o'clock. Whoa, we made it.
Lock that door. Ha! Still in business, Uncle Billy, even if we only got $2 left.
George, telephone.
Okay, Tilly. By the way, call my wife, will you? I forgot all about the,
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want Mrs. Bailey. Wait, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, right. That is my wife. Give me the phone already, will you? Hello? Is this Mrs. Bailey?
Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey.
Well, Mary, we survived. I'm sorry.
Now that you're done saving things, come home.
Huh?
Come home.
Come home? What home?
Our home, George, at 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore? Huh? Whose home is that?
Our home, saphead.
But Mary, how can we have a home?
Right now.
Right now? Okay, sure. All right, sure.
I love you.
I love you too, honey. I'm coming home.
Clarence, do you know where 320 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house?
No. It was the old Granville house where George and Mary threw rocks and made wishes. You see, her wish was to marry George and live in the Granville house. And that's where they still were living 2 years later. When Mr. Potter asked George to drop by his office,
Now, George, I suppose you're wondering why you're here.
I have no idea, Mr. Potter, but I'm sure you do.
Now, look, you're a young man, 27, 28, married, making, $40 a week?
45.
Okay, 45. And if you were a common, ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing well. However, you're no common, ordinary yokel, son. You're an intelligent, resourceful, ambitious young man who hates his job. Yes, you hate the building and loan almost as much as I do, George. You've been dying to get out of this town ever since you were born. You see your friends, your brother, go places, while you're trapped here. trapped into frittering away your life, playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Is this a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that I want to hire you, George.
Hire me? To do what?
To manage my affairs, oversee my properties, and I can start you off at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. Remember me, the building and loan George Bailey?
Yes, the George Bailey whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains to climb aboard.
Yes, but what about the building and loan?
Forget the building and loan. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Do we have a deal or not?
No, I can't do it. Even if you offer me $1 million to stay in Bedford Falls, to be your stooge, the answer would still be no. Now let me out of here. Sorry I'm so late, Mary.
Just knitting, George. So, what did Mr. Potter want to see you about?
Oh, nothing really. Just talk, But geez, why did you marry a guy like me anyway?
Well, I didn't want to be an old maid.
But I was gonna see the world. I was gonna give you the moon. But instead, what have I given you, huh? Not much. Some husband I am. I feel terrible.
Me too. Mornings especially.
I mean, you could have married Sam Wainwright. Anybody else.
But I didn't want anybody else. I wanted my baby to look like you.
You didn't even get a honeymoon. No fancy... You what?
My baby.
Baby? What? You mean you're on the nest?
Oh, George.
Well, Clarence, Mary had her baby, a boy.
Aw, that's nice.
And then another one, a girl.
Oh, good for them.
But George slaved away at the building and loan, and Potter made things tough for him. Then came the war. Mary had another baby, but still found time to run the USO. Uncle Billy and Mr. Gower sold war bonds, and George's brother Harry became a real hero. He shot down 15 planes.
And George, what did George do in the war?
Well, George was 4F due to his bad ear. He was an air raid warden, but on VE Day he wept and prayed, and on VJ Day he wept and prayed again.
Well then, we're just about right up to today.
Yes. The only thing you don't know about George Bailey is what happened that has him down there at this moment wanting to die.
Suicide. Well, what is it, boss?
All right. Today is the day before Christmas, and George is very excited.
Tilly, did you see the newspaper? Commander Harry Bailey, decorated by President, my brother, the Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, that's just swell.
Commander Bailey downed 15 enemy planes, the last a kamikaze, just as it was about to dive into a troop transport. Think of it. Harry saved hundreds of lives.
George, the bank examiner's here.
The annual audit, right. Good afternoon.
Carter, bank examiner.
Tilly, bring Mr. Carter here to the conference room and bring the books. And where's Uncle Billy?
He's depositing $8,000 at the bank.
Well, Mr. Potter, here to personally guard your money.
Look out, Bailey, you old fool. My wheelchair.
Did you see the news? Harry Bailey gets Medal of Honor. What do those Bailey boys do next?
Huh? Let me see that newspaper.
Oh, sure. Here you go. So sorry I can't chat more, you old thief.
Next customer, please.
Hello there. Let's see here. Here you are. Bank book, deposit slip, and a Merry Christmas to you.
To you too, Mr. Bailey. But, haven't you forgotten something?
I forget things all the time.
So, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
What?
Well, it's customary to bring the money with yous.
The money? The money! Oh, it's gone? Where did I put that money?
Guard, wheel me out of here.
Take note, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the deposit money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Mr. Potter.
The money was in the newspaper? So that's why George and Uncle Billy are scouring the street. Oh, I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000, and the bank examiner's here. It belongs to the depositors.
Oh, we've traced every step I took.
Now, where's that money, you old fool? This means bankruptcy, scandal, prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it won't be me. You keep looking, you hear? I'm going home.
Oh, George.
George, you haven't said a word since you came home. Well, was Zuzu sleeping?
No, she was showing me some flower pots she went at school. I touched it and a few petals fell off. She asked me to fix it, but does Jenny have to keep playing that over and over again?
I gotta practice for the Christmas party, Daddy.
What is it, dear? A hectic day?
Oh, yeah, a red letter day for the Baileys.
Hey, Dad! The Browns got a brand new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Not good enough for you?
Sorry, Dad.
Run along now, Petey.
Why is Zuzu in bed so early anyway?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. Didn't button up her coat.
What do you mean, a little cold?
It's okay, dear. The doctor said it was nothing serious.
The doctor? The doctor came? It's this drafty old house. It's a wonder we don't all have pneumonia.
George.
I mean, why do we live here in the first place? Why in this crummy little town?
What's wrong, dear?
Everything's wrong. Why did we have to have all those kids anyway? I don't know. Ask your mother.
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. Oh, she'll be all right.
Who is it, Mary?
It's Mrs. Welch, Zuzu's teacher. What? Oh, well, the doctor said she should be out of bed in just a...
Mary, give me that phone.
George, please.
Is this Mrs. Welch? Well, this is Mr. Bailey. Now, what kind of teacher are you? Do you realize she could get pneumonia because of you?
George.
Silly, careless people like you sending kids home half naked. You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids. Hello? Hello? Janie, enough with the piano. Cut it out. Stop.
Daddy.
George. Whatever's wrong with you, must you torture the children too?
I'm sorry, Janie. I'm sorry, Mary.
George.
I just gotta get out of here.
So, you're $8,000 short in your accounts, George. You say the money was lost? Well, what if it was stolen? Maybe you should notify the police.
No, sir. You see, Harry's homecoming is tomorrow, and, well, the publicity...
So you've come to me for a loan. Why not your buddy, Sam Wainwright?
Well, I tried to get a hold of him, but he's in Europe right now, and...
So you want a loan from me for $8,000? What do you have as collateral, George?
Well, I have some life insurance here, a $15,000 policy. It's
$15,000. But what's your equity in it?
$500.
$500. And you want an emergency loan on Christmas Eve for $8,000?
Yes.
You're pathetic, George Bailey. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, George Bailey, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man?
Please, Mr. Potter, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to swear out a warrant for your arrest. Get out of here.
The nerve of that Henry Potter. He had George's $8,000 sitting in that desk drawer.
What will George do now, boss? Where is he?
Well, he's at Martini's Tavern. George has had a couple drinks, and he's dazed, just standing there.
Our Father, who art in heaven, oh God, I've never been a praying man, but if you are listening, show me the way. Please, I'm lost, God, lost. Please.
Mr. Bailey, you all right? Mr. Martini, George here. You don't look so good.
You're right, Nick. Mr. Bailey, you drink too much.
Bailey? Which Bailey are you talking about?
This Mr. Bailey. Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey. Why, you... Listen, Bailey. If you ever talk to my wife like that way again, you'll get even worse. Ain't it enough she slaves away, teaching your stupid kids how to read and write? Then you gotta bawl her out on the phone?
Hey, beat it, Mr. Welch. You punching my best friend. Get out of here. Go. Throw him out, Nick.
Go on, Welch. Beat it.
All right. I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, how you doing?
Oh, Martini. Who was that?
That's Mr. Welch. He don't come here no more. Oh, wait, Mr. Bailey. I get you something for your face. Look, the blood.
No, that's all right.
Please, don't go, Mr. Bailey. Stay.
Go on. Just let me be. Alone, you hear?
Well, Clarence, George is now at the river. He's about to jump. Do you have your plan ready?
I don't know, boss.
Well, if you can save George Bailey's life, you'll get your wings.
My wings? Oh, yes, my wings! I won't let you down, boss. George Bailey! Don't jump, George! Get away from that bridge, George! Stop!
We'll return to Old Town Theater Company's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a moment. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hi there, my name is Evan Getz, and I am the founder and artistic director of Old Town Theater Company. Thank you so much for tuning in to our production of It's a Wonderful Life. We are an SC-based, site-specific theater troupe that partners with local venues and businesses to build relationships among artists, audiences, and the community. With community-minded and engaging productions, we strive to create accessible theater for all. Thank you so much for supporting the arts during this unprecedented time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of It's a Wonderful Life.
And now, the thrilling conclusion of Old Town Theater Company's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. A troubled George Bailey stands on the Bedford Falls Toll Bridge, convinced that he's worth more dead than alive. Deep in despair, George stares at the freezing waters below, poised to end it all, when suddenly...
Oh my God! Wait, mister. Here I come. I'm gonna jump in. Help me. I'm coming. I got you. Grab onto me.
You two are sure lucky my toll booth is open tonight. Otherwise, you'd have froze to death. Jumping in the river like that. Are you warming up?
Well, I'm okay. And you, mister?
Clarence, I'm fine. Although my underwear's a bit out of fashion. I passed away in it.
You passed what?
And Tom Sawyer's drying out, too.
The name's George.
No. My book. I still had Tom Sawyer with me. But, there is a Tom Sawyer quality to you, George. Lots of ideas, wanderlust,
So, how'd you fall in the river?
Fall in? I didn't fall in. I jumped in. Jumped in to save you, George.
Jumped in to save me?
Well, yeah, it worked, right? You didn't go through with your plan, did you?
Go through with what plan?
Suicide.
Hey, you can't commit suicide round here. I think it's against the law.
Well, it certainly is where I come from.
Well, where do you come from, mister?
Oh, heaven.
What?
Right.
George, you're bleeding. Your lip?
Oh, that. I got punched in answer to a prayer.
No, George. I'm the answer to your prayer. I was sent down from heaven to help you.
Oh, come on.
I'm Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
AS2?
Angel, second class.
Angel. Right. Well, I'm going to see if any other angels just saved somebody.
Clarence. Now, why save me?
Because killing yourself is a sin, especially for $8,000. Oh, I know all about you, George Bailey. Remember, guardian angel.
And you're just the kind of angel I'd get. Angel, huh? Where are your wings, then?
I'm an angel second class, George. I haven't won my wings yet. But you can help me earn them by letting me help you.
Help me? Okay, you couldn't help me with $8,000, could you?
Oh, well, we don't really use money in heaven.
Oh, well, it sure comes in handy down here, bub. I just found out a little late. But since you know so much, did you know I'm worth more dead than alive?
Don't talk that way, George. I'll never get my wings if you keep that up. You just don't realize what you've done for people. I mean, if it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, they'd all be better off. My wife, my kids, my friends. I wish I'd never been born.
Ah, that's a good one, George.
Good what?
The plan. You just gave it to me. It reminds me of Tom Sawyer. Well, here, let me see here.
Hey, what the...
Okay, George, you've got your wish. You were never born.
Never born?
That's right. You have no worries, no missing $8,000. You don't exist.
Hey, wait, my ear. Say something in my bad ear.
You hear me all right. You don't have a bad ear. That's because you're not the George Bailey you used to be. Now you're nobody.
That's nuts. But I can hear.
And your lips stopped bleeding.
Hey, it did. What's happening? I need a drink. Yeah, that's what. How about you, Angel? Want to join me for a drink?
Drink? Well, I'm on duty, you know.
Join me. Let's dress and walk over to Martini's Tavern.
What'll it be, fellas?
Nick, is Martini still here?
You want a martini, or are you a wise guy?
No, just give me a double bourbon then.
And for you?
I just love mulled wine with a dollop of nutmeg and just a dash of cloves. Hop to it, my lively lad.
Mulled what?
That's okay, Nick. Just give him the same as me.
2 double bourbons.
Why is Nick acting that way? What's going on here? The tavern's all changed.
Bedford Falls has changed. You got your wish, George. You were never born. It's a different world without you. Ah, good. At least somebody made it.
Huh? Made what, Clarence?
Here are your drinks.
Well, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
What'd you say? Angel?
Angels second class.
Clarence.
What? Do they not believe in angels?
Sure, they believe in them, but you...
Oh, so they're just surprised when they actually see one.
In a bar?
Sorry, Nick. He just never grew up.
Well, sure I did. Next September, I'll be 293.
Never grew up, huh? I'll bet you don't got any money either.
Well, of course not. We don't use money in heaven.
Well, this ain't heaven. That's enough. Out. Out. Get out of my bar.
Your bar? Where's Martini, Nick?
You ain't getting no martini. And how do you know my name anyway? I don't know you from... Oh, hey, you again?
Spare some change, sir. Spare some change.
Oh, no, Rummy, I told you to never come in here panhandling.
Mr. Gower! Mr. Gower, listen, you know me. I'm George Bailey. George Bailey.
Huh? Buy me a drink, mister. Just one, huh, mister?
Throw that rummy out.
Whoa, no, let go of me.
But that's Mr. Gower from the pharmacy.
Yeah, that rumhead did 20 years in prison for poisoning a kid. If you know him, maybe you're a jailbird too. Bill, get these 2 out of here. Out, out, out!
What happened to Mr. Gower? How could that be? Poisoning a kid?
Don't you see, George? You weren't there to stop Gower from putting the poison into the pills because you weren't born.
Weren't born? Well, who am I then?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean? I'm George Bailey.
No, you're not. No papers, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals. I was gonna kind of fix them for her flower.
They aren't there either, George. You may have put them in your pocket before, but now you don't exist.
It's gone. Gone. What? Am I a ghost?
You've been given a gift, George, to see the world if you'd never been born.
You're nuts, and you're driving me nuts too. I'm going home to my wife and family, do you hear? Leave me alone. Step on it, Ernie. I gotta get home. I'm losing my mind.
Uh-huh. So where do you live, bub?
Now cut it out, Ernie. Don't pull that act on me. I lived at 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore?
Listen, Ernie, I don't know what's going on here. I'm crazy or something. Maybe had some bad liquor. Tell me now, your name's Ernie Bishop, right? You live with your wife and son over in Bailey Park.
What, have you seen my wife?
Seen your wife? Of course I have. At your house 100 times. I built it for you, didn't I?
My wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago, and I rent one of Potter's shacks. I've never seen you before.
Okay, Ernie. Okay. Just keep driving. Mary! Kids! Where is everybody? Petey! Janie! Zuzu! Where are you?
This is just an abandoned house, George. You don't have a wife or children.
What's happened to them?
In there, officer. That's him. He's off his rocker.
Hey, hold it, you two. This is the police. Put your hands up.
Bert the cop! Wait, it's me!
Hey, take it easy, mister. Come along all quiet like and we'll get you some help.
Bert, what's happened to you? Look, it's this guy here. He's an angel. He hypnotized me.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna take the both of you.
Okay, get out of here, George. Now's your chance. Run!
Hey, where do you think you're going, buddy?
Hey, you wouldn't beat up an old angel, would you? Wait. Boss, help! Help me!
Hey, what the? Hey, Ernie, where'd the guy go?
Well, I don't know. He just disappeared. The other guy ran south, down Sycamore. Come on.
I'm sorry, George.
You again? My mother. She didn't recognize me. What is this place? Where's the housing development? Bailey Park. My dad and I built it right here.
As you can see, it's a cemetery, George.
Cemetery? Where are the houses? The people?
They're here, George, amidst the tombstones. Martini's buried here, the little Blaine girl, your father, and right next to him.
Harry Bailey. Dead.
Your little brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
No. Harry got the Medal of Honor. Harry saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died, George.
How?
Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry.
Me?
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. You know, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Wonderful?
Strange, isn't it? The kingdom of heaven is spread upon the earth, but men do not see it. Don't you see? See what a mistake it would be to throw your life away, George.
What about Mary? Please, where is my wife? Tell me where she is.
You won't like it, George.
Where is my wife? Where is she? Tell me, or do I have to choke it out of you?
She never married. She's an old maid. She works at the library. She's just closing up for the night, but she... No, George, no, come back. Oh, there must be an easier way for me to get my wings.
Mary,
I'm sorry, sir. The library's closed.
No, Mary, it's me, George. George, come on, you know me.
No, I don't know you. Excuse me.
Mary, I got you. I want you, please.
No, stop. Let me go. Somebody help me. He's mad.
Hey, what's going on over there? Oh, it's you again. Get over here.
Oh, no. I gotta get out of here. Clarence, where are you?
Here I am, George. So, are you gonna jump off this bridge again?
No, Clarence. I want things back the way they were. Just get me back to my wife and kids, Clarence. I want to live again.
That's the spirit, George. Don't despair, always be willing.
Oh, yes. Can you do it? Can you do it for me, Clarence? I want to live again. God, let me live again. Yes, God. I want to live again. Yes, God, please.
Hey, George, what are you doing here?
Huh? Bert? Come any closer and I'll...
What in Sam Hill are you doing and yelling about, George?
What? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know ya? I've been looking all over the town for you, George.
Oh, why, Bert? I'm alive again.
You all right, George? You know, your mouth's bleeding.
My mouth? Hey, my mouth is bleeding. And hey, Zuzu's pedals, I had them in my right pocket over... Oh, they're here in my pocket. Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert. I'm going home. I know the way home. Boy, do I know the way home. Merry Christmas, Bert.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, George.
What? What are all these people doing in my house? Oh, reporters, the sheriff, yes, and you.
Carter, bank examiner. Mr. Bailey, your books show a deficit.
Yes, I know. $8,000, right?
George, I've got a warrant for your arrest here.
Yes, a warrant. Sheriff, jail. Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas.
Oh, Daddy! Merry Christmas, Daddy!
Yes. Oh, I love you so. Where's your mother?
Out looking for you with Uncle Billy. Daddy.
Zuzu, Ginger Snap, how are you feeling?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge. Hallelujah.
George! Mommy's home, Mommy!
Mary.
George, where did you go?
Mary.
Oh, George.
Mary, I have to touch you, hold you. You've no idea what happened.
You have no idea what's happened. Oh my God, it's George!
George, look what I've got!
Uncle Billy!
Oh, money, George! Bushels of money! Mary worked a miracle, didn't you, Mary?
People heard you were in trouble, dear. Your friends, they pitched in to help you. $8,000.
Here, you take some of mine.
Charlie, Martini, and Mr. Gower, thank you! I can't believe it. Ernie?
Well, none of us would have had a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you, George.
Mother and Harry.
George, Mary called us in Washington and I flew in as fast as I could.
Come on, everybody. A toast to Harry.
Yes, a toast to my brother George, the richest man in town. To George!
Thank you.
George, somebody left a book here under the tree.
It's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And there's an inscription. Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
Clarence?
Yeah, a very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, look. See my little bell hanging on the Christmas tree?
I see it, Zuzu.
I hung it up there all by myself. Daddy, Mrs. Welch says every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings.
That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Thank you, Clarence. Thank you. It truly is a wonderful life. Happy landings.
Thank you for listening to Old Town Theater Company's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life, sponsored by WRHI. For more information about WRHI, please visit WRHI.com. And for more information about Old Town Theater Company, visit onlyinoldtown.com/OTTC. Happy holidays!